This video is for Homework and Mastery 3.7, Section 12.4 in your textbook, Multiplying Polynomials. We've already looked at adding and subtracting polynomials. What we want to do now is look at multiplying polynomials. When we're looking at multiplying a monomial by any other polynomial, we want to use the distributive property and distribute whatever is in front of our parentheses into our parentheses by multiplying our number out front, or monomial out front, times each item inside the parentheses. So for example, I want to multiply 3 times the difference of c and 4. So I'm going to distribute my 3 into the parentheses. So I'm going to take 3 times c and 3 times a negative 4, as I've shown here. Where if I do this, 3 times c will give me 3c, 3 times negative 4 will give me negative 12. So simplifying, 3 times the difference of c and 4 is 3c minus 12. I also want to look at multiplying 2x to the third times the polynomial x squared minus x plus 2. In order to do this, I'm going to take 2x to the third times each item inside, or each term inside the parentheses. And so I'll take 2x to the third times x squared plus 2x to the third times a negative x plus 2x to the third times 2. 2x to the third times x squared will leave me with 2x to the fifth. 2x to the third times a negative x will leave me with a negative 2x to the fourth, because remember I'm adding the exponents. And 2x to the third times 2 will give me 4x to the third. So whenever I'm multiplying a monomial times any polynomial, I want to do the distributive property and multiply the monomial times each term of the polynomial. Whenever I'm multiplying two binomials, I'm going to use the distributive property also, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply each item inside the first set of parentheses, or first polynomial, times each item inside the second polynomial. So I'm going to distribute each item. What I mean is, if I have the polynomial 7x plus 3 times the polynomial 2x plus 4, what I want to do is I want to take 7x and distribute it into the second polynomial and say 7x times 2x plus 7x times 4, and then I want to take 3 and distribute it also into 2x plus 4. So what I've done is I've taken 7x plus 3 times my 2x and 7x plus 3 times my 4, and I can distribute. 7x times 2x gives me 14x, 3 times 2x is 6x, 7x times 4 is 28x, and 4 times 3 is 12. Now I combine like terms, and I can combine the 6x and the 28x, and I'll get 14x squared plus 34x plus 12. What we're doing is we're multiplying two binomials. Another term for multiplying two binomials is also called the FOIL method. When we're talking about the FOIL method, we're going to first multiply what we call the first terms together. The first terms in each set of polynomials, the first terms in each set of parentheses. So I'm going to take the first times the first. My O in FOIL means the outer. I'm going to multiply the outer terms, the first and the last term of each polynomial together. I means the inner. I'm going to multiply the two inner terms together. And the last means I'm going to multiply the last term of each polynomial together. And this is the exact same thing as what we just did. It's just an acronym to help you remember what order and how to process it. So let's look at some examples using the FOIL method. This is the same problem that we just did. The F stands for first, so I took 7x times 2x. The O stands for outside, 7x times 4. The I stands for inner, 3 times 2x, and the L stands for last, 3 times 4. I combine those, so 7x times 2x gives me 14x. 7x times 4 will be 28x. 3 times 2x is 6x, and 3 times 4 is 12. Combine my like terms, and I get 14x squared plus 34x plus 12, which is the exact same answer that we got just a moment ago. So one way to work multiplying binomials is by using the distributive property. Another way is using the FOIL method. Let's look at some other examples. If I use the FOIL method on 3x plus 4 times 5x minus y, I'm going to take the first times the first, so 3x times 5x. I'll take my outside, 3x times a negative y, my inside, 4 times 5x, and my last, 4 times a negative y. I simplify. 3x times 5x gives me 15x squared. 3x times a negative y gives me negative 3xy. 4 times 5x gives me 20x. And 4 times a negative y gives me a negative 4y. There's no like terms to combine, so my final answer is 15x squared minus 3xy plus 20x minus 4y. Let's look at this example. I have 3x squared plus 4y cubed times 2x squared plus 5y cubed. I'm going to take 3x squared times 2x squared. 3 times 2 is 6. X squared times x squared is 4x squared. Then I will take my outer, 3x squared times 5y cubed. 3 times 5 is 15. X squared times y cubed is just x squared y cubed. Then I'll do my inner, 4y cubed times 2x squared, and I get 8, 4 times 2 is 8, x squared y cubed. Then I will do 4y cubed times 5y cubed. 4 times 5 is 20. Y cubed times y cubed is y to the 6th. I do have like terms that I can combine because my x squared y cubed, x squared y cubed. So I'll take 15 plus 8 and get 23. So my final answer is going to be 6x to the 4th plus 23 x squared y cubed plus 20 y to the 6th. In this example, the width of a living room is x plus 4 feet. The length of the room is 3x plus 5 feet. What is the area of the room in square feet? Well, if we think about the area is length times width. So I'm going to multiply x plus 4 times 3x plus 5. And so I have area is equal to length times width, and I'm going to do 3x plus 5 times x plus 4. When I multiply these out, 3x times x will give me 3x squared. 3x times 4 will give me 12x. 5 times x gives me 5x. And 5 times 4 gives me 20. I'll combine my 12x plus my 5x because they're like terms. And I'll get 3x squared plus 17x plus 20. So the area of the living room is 3x squared plus 17x plus 20 square feet. What we have to do is remember that when we're multiplying binomials times binomials or a monomial times a binomial, we're distributing. We are using the FOIL method. We have to make sure that we multiply each term in the first polynomial times each term in the second polynomial. And we have to be careful, and then we need to make sure that we combine like terms to get our end result. If you have any questions, please let one of us know and we'll be glad to help.